with everything that's going on the world right now, we have to have some bad news for crypto. And I'm talking about the crypto czar. We just lost our czar at the White House. We just lost the person that should be pushing every crypto law, every innovation, everything. So could help our industry to thrive. Sorry, it's just left. It's over. It's over. The role expired. That's what they told us, and that's what I'm going to break down today. Today I'm going to tell you what happened, what he achieved, what was the promises that we haven't seen fulfilled, and the state of crypto. And I'm not talking about only the market. I'm talking about everything. Right now, it's not looking good on every standpoint. I know there's the Clarity Act. You know my opinion. I think it should go on, even with the yield thing. I know a lot of people think otherwise. I already told you my opinion about that. But now we need to understand that we lost our czar. We lost our supposedly the leader that changed everything. So let's see where we are right now. Thank you for being here as always. Let me know from where you are watching. I'm seeing some people from Canada, UK. Awesome, and thank you for being here. Subscribe to the channel. And I'm outside my regular studio, and this will be my place for this week. Around my house there will be a lot of noise, and I cannot be there. So I moved. Let me know if everything is okay, and let's start talking about the czar that we just lost, the revolution that we haven't seen, right? So let's see what we had and what you're having right now. Now, we had the czar for 15 months. That was it. 15 months. This is how long we had our first crypto czar. And in those 15 months, David Sachs did something that someone that I appreciate a lot, delivered something that this industry never had. So it never had. The first federal crypto law in the United States. I know we don't remember this. It seems like it was a while ago, but we have a law that it's law. We have a crypto law. We are still pending on the Clarity Act, but we still have a law that was approved, and now we hope the clarity will be also. So this is something that, yeah, we remember Gary Gensler, right? No one liked Gary Gensler. Maybe today they have a different opinion, but he delivered this, right? So first federal crypto in the United States, and then he walked out the door. Like I just told you, he left. He is out. Now let's see exactly what he delivered to us. Like I was saying, from David Sachs himself in January, the reign of terror against crypto is over, and it is. The markets, it's not over. The terror now is on the market, but at least we don't have how can I say this, Gary Gensler and SEC doing what Gensler usually did. And this was in January 2025. You remember the market at the time? Everything was pumping. Everything was pumping. On that day, I remember that month. It was a crazy one. So, and this was the crypto ball, the first crypto ball on the White House. Yeah, we still don't remember that we achieved a few things this year. And what did this set exactly? So, Biden AI executive order was over. Operation Chokepoint 2.0 was over. SEC versus Coinbase over. SEC versus Ripple over. SEC versus Kraken, Binance, unresolved. Everything was over. SAP 121, the accounting rule, it was over. This is what David Sachs delivered, because I'm just telling you this because a lot of people saying background sound is too high. Let me just correct that, and I'll do that. I'll just cut it. So like I was saying, we had this. I know people don't remember this because it was more than a year ago, but we had a lot of things that remember that Kraken was under scrutiny. Ripple, yeah, we know Ripple, right? So Operation Chokepoint 2.0, banks, the end banking, a lot of things was happening, and David Sachs killed it. Okay? David Sachs was the person responsible for killing it. We need to understand this. He was a person responsible that today crypto is a little bit more free, not for market makers, from a legal standpoint and rules of law, but yeah, it's free right now. Okay, but not everything was as it's supposed to be, and that's exactly what we are going to talk today. The Genius Act. Do you remember the Genius Act? It was the first crypto law. This was the first crypto law. And I know people don't remember this, but we have a crypto legislation right now. And it was a bipartisan bill. And this was David Sachs also. With this, stablecoin issuers now need to have one-to-one backing, as we know, USDC and USDT, one-to-one reserve backing. They need to do monthly public disclosures, etc. So, and this was personally driven by Sachs, David Sachs, on the Congress. Okay, and this was history being made. And then we have this. So, the strategic Bitcoin reserve. We are still waiting for it, right? And those who know me know I never believe it will happen. And I believe it will happen the way it did. Like, we are not going to sell more, and we are going to confiscate, and that's how we are going to improve the strategic Bitcoin reserve. But I always had my doubts about the US buying Bitcoin, because he said that US was not going to buy any other crypto than Bitcoin, because there's the strategic reserve and there's the digital asset stockpile. Both didn't happen. Okay, and it really said that they are looking for budget neutral ways to increase the strategic reserve. Nothing. Okay, and I don't think that's a priority right now, and I don't think that's going to happen. I'm happy to be wrong on this. I'm happy that they find a neutral way to buy Bitcoin to increase the strategic reserve. But the only thing they did in reality was just, okay, we are not going to sell more. That's it. We are not going to sell more. We had zero purchases of new Bitcoin. Zero. And we never had that audit. Do you remember? There was an audit, etc. We never saw it. And now the question that you need to ask yourself is this a strategic Bitcoin reserve, like Fort Knox, the digital Fort Knox, or it's a warehouse for seized assets? That's something that you need to understand. And maybe you will not like the answer. And then there was the SEC transformation. And this was a big one. This was a really big one, because this was, I like to show this because we need to understand where we came from and where we are right now. I know the markets look like they are going to dump at any moment. We're going to check the chart, obviously. But yeah, this is not, you need to understand that where we came from. So right now, the SEC crypto task, it's the anti-crypto members of the SEC leaving. 16 cryptos classified as commodities. 12 plus enforcement cases that dropped. And Paul Atkins, it's the new chairman of the SEC, he's always talking about crypto. Always. Crypto tokenization is the future. Crypto tokenization is the future. Crypto tokenization is the future. So he's always talking about this. Always. And this is another achievement. So I don't like when people say, he didn't achieve anything. He did achieve a lot of things. We don't remember. But he did, because crypto now is not as fancy as AI. And AI maybe is still in the spotlight of crypto. And then that was the easy part. But we need to understand that there was a lot of things that wasn't fulfilled. And this is where we are right now. And this is what people don't like. And that's the part that I don't like. This part, I understand that, but it's where we are. Look, Clarity Act. And this is the most controversial one. Okay, right now, it's stuck. It's not moving. Everyone is facing. We know this, okay? Everyone is calling it's the bank's fault. It's Coinbase's fault. Whatever. You know my opinion. I think we need something, and then we can get more than trying to get everything at the first time, and then we don't get anything. Because we need to understand this. If this doesn't pass, it will not pass, and then the Elizabeth Warrens that will come in the future, they will not approve a Clarity Act. You need to. I know a lot of people say, no, I want the perfect bill. Look, if you don't have something now, Elizabeth Warren and her pupiles, you don't have a Clarity Act. You will not have anything. You will stay worse than you are right now. And this is just my opinion. If you don't have a Clarity Act soon, we are screwed. for the future. This is my opinion. Also, the SEC, they are trying to make the SEC Gensler proof, and they use this term Gensler proof to make sure that nobody that comes after the current chairman will destroy everything that's being done right now. And we need this bill to pass. And as I was saying, something is better than anything or nothing. And right now, that I don't think we're going to get a Clarity Act. Maybe after the war, and then when it's a politic victory, they will allow the Clarity Act to pass. But so right now, I think let's see, let's see. But I don't think it's going to start. So just a quick unfinished checklist of where we are right now. No Clarity Act, no Bitcoin purchases for the reserve, permanent White House Crypto Council was never formed, the 100-day legislative timeline was over, there isn't one, and federal AI preemption bill legislation was stripped from every bill because it was an AI czar also. And this is where we are right now. The work is not done, the job is not finished. So we need to understand this. We have a pattern here. And I know that the markets, etc., but we need to understand that executive orders, amazing, phone calls to the SEC, signing summaries, press conferences, all that was done. All of that was done. But Senate negotiations, nothing. Bipartisan compromise, zero. Committee markups, floor management, nothing. There was nothing there. And this is where you need to understand that something might have happened. And we needed someone maybe different to achieve this. Maybe you need something to achieve this. Now, again, regarding something it's a shadow over David Sachs, and again, it's someone that I appreciate a lot, is that he divested $200 million in crypto before entering the role. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Coinbase, Robinhood, a lot of them, this was public. But still, there's still some shadow over this. And when you learn that he has retained around 708 tech investments, you start to think that maybe it was not their ethic to be the crypto AI czar and still having all of those investments. And yeah, 700, it's a lot of them. 20 in crypto companies and the rest in AI and a few more. And the New York Times has spent months investigating this. Okay, so just for you to be aware, we're talking about BitGo, Craft Ventures, etc. There's a lot of things here that you can divest. I'm not going to go deep in that, but that doesn't help a lot when you know this. That doesn't help a lot knowing this. So yeah, there's this shadow over him. Okay, then it was the industry. The industry was saying that, Charles Hoskinson said Sachs should resign if the legislation doesn't pass. And he didn't resign. He just let the rule to expire. And then you have Sam Altman saying Sachs will understand AI, and I have no doubt about that regarding AI. He really understands. He's really worried also. A few more saying that you have positive quotes, you have negative quotes. And that's like everything, especially on YouTube, we see that every day. But just for you to understand that things didn't went as expected from a crypto czar. Okay? From a crypto czar, it didn't went as it should be. And now, I want to know your opinion. After 15 months, do you think he was a builder or a demolisher? This is something that I would like to know, because let me know. I want to know if you think that he built something or he demolished something. I do think he tried to build. I don't think he demolished. But yeah, just my opinion. And of course, this is what I'm going to stand by. We got a czar, we needed a builder, and now we have nothing. And this is where I want to focus. We needed someone that will be on the Senate floor, that will be moving everything it could to approve the legislation. But honestly, it feels like we're the builder, someone that likes to build, but doesn't like the negotiating part. And now, we don't have anything. We have zero. We don't have anything or anyone to protect us and to help us. And no Clarity Act, Bitcoin, I think, let me see if we didn't dump. No, we are still at 66. Um, we don't know where we are going. There are no direction right now. There's someone on the White House for digital assets, but it's not our czar. I know David Sachs will still be there with another role. And so, yeah, let me know your opinion. He delivered something, not what we expected. We deserved more. We didn't have more. That's exactly what happened. So guys, let me know if everything is okay, because I was having some internet issues before starting the stream. I think everything is going well. And so yeah, just for you to understand that right now we are in a limbo without our crypto czar, and now we are going to the charts, because I know you want to see the charts and want to see what's happening on the markets. I want to. And let me just say this, okay? I'm not going to focus a lot on the war. Everyone is talking about the war. What I've been telling you is that I still stand by my opinion that something will happen this weekend. I hope to be wrong. I want to be wrong. And I want to say, look, it was just PTSD and nothing happened, okay? I hope that's the case. But I still think we are going to see something this weekend, because I still see that something might happen this week, and I don't trust the negotiations. I don't trust the propaganda that we are seeing right now. So, yeah, just be aware that something might happen. The Clarity Act was not approved. I didn't say the Clarity Act was approved. Okay, I said it's still stalled because of the yield, and even that we don't know if that's true or not. I still think they are going to delay it till it's a political victory, and when it's a political victory, they will approve. But the Clarity Act was not approved. So someone was asking. So you remember this short, right? It was on this channel, Banter main channel. We set up a short just to protect our portfolio as an hedge, and right now it's doing its job. It's hedging our portfolio. We have an edge, we are okay, and it's working as a charm. And on the shorter time frame, Bitcoin reacted when it should react. Okay, I said this. I said this almost daily on my channel. I'm live 3 times per week here. You should go to this channel, Crypto Decode by Pedro Silva. I was live yesterday, and I'm live every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday for the market. And I said this, and I'll be saying this. As long as we are in a range, we haven't conquered anything. Look, and I'm a perma bull. Okay, I'm one of the most bullish on this industry, but I see what the short tells me, and what the short told me is that we are still within a range. We haven't conquered anything, and you need to be ready to come to the lower part of the range. And I still think that we are going to fill this week. I still think that we are going to target 59 below 60, even if it's just a quick sweep. I'm still expecting that, so I'm being patient. That doesn't mean that I'm not scalping. Okay, even if you follow my channel, you know that I scalp, and a lot, like a lot. I'm always scalping. I don't like to have swing trade opens because I don't want to be exposed to the market, so that any quick sweep of the market or any move from the market makers will go against me. The less that you are on the market, higher the chance that you can make money and not get your stop loss hit. So for Bitcoin, let me see, I think this is the best one. If you check the chart, we have been reacting at these levels, okay, around 65. Once, twice, we had a small deviation, then we are third time, fourth time, now it's the fifth time that we are reacting here. And we are seeing a reaction, and we are seeing buyers. When we see, or when I say we are seeing a reaction, we have buyers here. So does this mean that Bitcoin will not go to the top of the range? Honestly, I don't think that. Honestly, I don't think that's the case. I still think that we might come lower. It's weekend. I'm expecting something regarding the conflict that we are seeing, and I'm also expecting something from the allies, because Trump has said something about the allies on the Middle East that I don't think will suit well to the allies. But I'm not going to touch that today. But right now, we'll be careful that we might go to the bottom of the range. Okay, I'll be really careful here about 63,000, unless we have some major catalyst like ceasefire accepted, negotiations are going well. Then maybe, and this is a big maybe, something like this might be the case. Okay, or we can just grind here for a few hours, maybe 2 3 days, till you get a decision. This is something that I can see it happen, but I'm not that bullish on the move to the upside right now. Might happy to be wrong, but this is what I'm feeling and this is what I'm seeing. So be careful this weekend with your trades. Always scalp, always scalp. Never do swing trades right now. Like the less exposure, the easier it is to make money. Now Ethereum is always another one. And it's confusing me for the last weeks because we are seeing a lot of on-chain accumulation on Ethereum, and the price doesn't move. We are seeing like a lot on-chain accumulation of Ethereum, and we cannot see the price doing anything. And this is something that you need to understand what's happening. There's a lot of Ethereum to be staked. There's a lot of Ethereum staked. There's not that much Ethereum on the line to be unstaked, and the price doesn't do anything. We're still at 2K. So yeah, I hope it doesn't come lower, but I do think it will come to this area here. I do think it will come to around 1900. This is a target that I see it coming, maybe a bit lower, like a sweep, like it did here, and then we can think that I want to move higher. Yeah. Then we can think on a move higher, and this could actually be a good short. If you want to short Ethereum, this could actually be a good short. Yeah, let's see. We can take a stop loss. Why not, right? Let's see if this is a good short. Maybe let's have a really tight stop loss, something really small, and then we will target these lows here. Yeah, let's see. Just put the stop loss a bit higher. Let's check here. Yeah, just a tad higher to avoid this. Yeah, let's see. Maybe it plays out. Maybe we got stopped. This is why we have stop losses. But yeah, why not? Let's try. It's always like this. I'm always saying today I'm not going to open trades, and then at the end I start open trades. I'm always like this. I'm not going to open any trade today. I'm not going to do that. And when I see it, it's yeah. Let's see how it goes out. But like I was saying, I do believe that Ethereum might come lower. So be ready for that, and actually be ready for the market to come lower, and not just Ethereum, the entire market to come lower, especially if something happens during the weekend regarding the war. Now, regarding MicroStrategy short, I'm not going to chart a MicroStrategy on a weekend. That doesn't make any sense. If you want, go to my channel next Tuesday, and I can chart MicroStrategy. But on a weekend, we need to look to the market that it's open right now, and that market is crypto. For the good and for the worst, right? That market is crypto. So let me see what we have more. What can we have more here? Let's see if we can do something on Bitcoin. Does anyone have any that degen trade that you can take for the weekend? I would like a degen trade, like that token that's so dirty that we know probably we are going to get stopped, but we are going to trade it anyway. I need a token like that. I'm long as fuck. Yeah, if you long deer, sure, or below. But again, if you are long and you are not closing trades, you are exposed to the market, and yeah, you take the risk of sudden move, and that's it, and you go. Let me see. It's always risky to do this, but we have a short. I want to short Bitcoin right now, but I wanted the long, so as an edge. But I want to short Bitcoin. This is just paper trading. This one, I still think it's risky to take this short, but the paper trading, I'm not taking this one. Okay, I just want to see. Sometimes I do this just to make sure if I'm doing the correct analysis. But yeah, it makes sense for me to short it. And you're targeting here lower. Again, paper trading, not taking it, just to make sure that if I'm wrong, I want to know why I'm wrong. So yeah, tight stop loss, 390. Yeah, it's almost a risk reward of 4. You are okay with this. Do not take this just for education purposes. So you say it, and then we can know where we are. And if I get stopped, I will check why I got stopped. Let me see more. GRIFFAIN. GRIFFAIN. Is that AI? No. Let me see. Is this one? It should react here. I don't even know what this token is. It should react here in theory. It. Let me check the higher time frame. This is a place where I should have buyers. Look, it's testing the previous resistance as support, and the support is holding. This is a classic price action. Look, this was resistance, 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 and then it flipped, and now it's testing as support. But the question is that if support going to hold, right? But I don't see anything here, and I'm going to tell you why, because you already tested this support so many times and that it might break. Right? We have buyers; those buyers are being tested, so I cannot trade this. The theory tell us it's a long. Okay, the theories tell it. The theory tell it, this should be a long because we are testing support after a break of the resistance. But nah, that's when you have more than theory. When you have experience, you prefer to do not touch it than going for it. Injective. I met the Injective CEO. She was a nice lady in Barcelona. Let me see. Injective just flipped bullish. I don't like to disagree, but let me see. Injective just flipped bullish. Honestly, I want to short Injective. Look, it's at the measure resistance, and this could be a quick scalp. Look at the stairs. Yeah, I think this is a short. We already have two shorts, right? Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm not going to touch it right now. Let me see how this one is going. Yeah, the move might already be happening. I'm not going to touch it right now. I'm not going to touch it at the moment. Guys, I want to know if you're already trading on Prime XBT. Because this week I'm going to be very active on Prime XBT. You have the link on the description. On my channel, I'll be really active on Prime with commodities because I think it will be a crazy week for commodities. So you need to go there and register on Prime so that you can keep up with me this week. Let me see more. Hype short. I don't know if I want. I don't know if I want to short hype. I think we shorted hype, didn't we? I'm almost sure we did. Bluffing? Aha! Yeah, it was here. This was a scalp on the other day. It was a nice one. I'm not going to short hype. Hype has a lot of hype right now. Um, Hype has a lot of hype right now. So yeah, I'm not going to short it. But if you like perps, you should try go to MetaMask. You have the link on the description. Um, MetaMask is an awesome. I'm not going to call it a wallet anymore because now it's an app. And you have the links here. Just go to the links and start trading on MetaMask. Start using MetaMask. Believe me, you'll be happy when you do it. And that's all I can say for now. For now. I'm not going to short hype right now. I think there's a lot of hype around hype, but it can easily be manipulated. So I don't want to, not the bad manipulation, like some announcement or something, or someone said that they are invested, and yeah, we know what's going to happen. Tau, I'm going to tell this, and if you follow me, you know this. I love Tau. I really like Tau. I don't like the shilling. Okay, I love Tau. Tau is an awesome project. Someone from my team told me about Tau really early, and I didn't listen. Below $40, and before the awesome run it had, but I don't like the shilling. So yeah, just my opinion regarding Tau. I think the move for Tau it's done, and I think we are going to see some sort of cooldown before any move higher. Okay, and so just be careful with Tau. But again, I love the project. I love Tau, but I don't see anything here unless you want to short it. And but yeah, this is a risky one. Let's see if you are those shorts or if you can take risks. If you have these shorts on profit, slightly above entry or below because it's a short. This one is starting to pay out. Yeah, I'm not going to short Tau, but Tau is a short. It's risky because anything can change it, like OSTTPT. Um, like I was saying, something that someone might say something or tweet something or whatever, and there goes Tau. But if you want to short it, I've seen worse shorts. Okay, I've seen worse shorts than this one right now. That's up to you. But I think the move on Tau is cooling off alright. Long lighter. Let's see lighter. There's a big problem with lighter. Is that if lighter keeps doing this, searching for oil, if Trump is aware that they are searching for oil, you might go there. Lighter is really searching for oil. Look, if they go like this, they keep going like this, they will reach the core of the earth really soon. Let's see if what I don't know what we can trade here. I don't know if you can do anything here, honestly. Everything that I'm seeing right now on the market, I only see shorts. I only see shorts. I do think that this is a short. I do think this is a short. Yeah, we have two shorts already. At least that I'm going to say. We should not overtrade on the weekend. We should be patient, and there's no liquidity. But we have this short that's printing. We are okay with that. And yeah, I think we are okay with this one. Okay. Reeve Degen. Tell me Reeve is a Degen one. Do we still have time? We do. We do still have some time. Is this one Reeve? It doesn't have futures. This is only spot. I'm not. I don't want this. I want Degen. I want something really Degen. Yeah, but you don't have futures. Mix. Let's see. This might be a long. Do you want to long this? I think I'm going to long this just because Caesar is saying. Should you long this? Let's try. Let's long. Like we have two shorts. If the market goes against us, we are covered. So slight stop loss. And do you want to target the break of structure, like something like this? Do you want? Shall we do it? I think this is a short, honestly, and I think the market is going to drop. Yeah, no, we cannot do this. Sorry, Caesar. Not going this. I know I'm going to look at Zeus. We go from Caesar to Zeus. Do we have futures on this? I don't see futures on here. Yeah, we don't have futures on this. More mix. I've seen it. Polka dot. Polka dot is not a degen. Polka dot is like that old coin that no one likes, but it's still here by some reason that no one understands. Siren. Isn't Siren been pumping like a lot? Siren. Let's check Siren. I think it is. I think Run is still an anti-XRP. I said this and I stand by it. The bull run will only resume or get back when Run tweets something about XRP. You don't believe me? I already said this. You should go to Run X profile and tell him tweet something about XRP. When Run does it, the bull run starts. Till there, just bear market. You see, sir, in H bar. Okay, it's like this. If you want a bull run only, you say run. You need to do something about positive regarding XRP. But if you want that super cycle, it needs to be XRP and H bar. In H bar, you should help me on this. You just go to run profile and say run. Please tweet something about XRP and H bar because H bar is the secret sauce for the super cycle. So if you want a super cycle, you need to tell Run to tweet something positive about XRP and H bar. Right? Minimum. And we should do this as a movement. This should be our movement. And this might be my last stream here after saying this. So let me see more. Someone was saying that BCH was printing. Let me see. It's not printing. It's not bad, but it's not printing. But I still see shorts here. Everything is going for resistance right now. All alts are trash, even the top 100 CoinGecko. Yeah, that's why I'm the trash man. I'm a case of study or study case because I did a lot of money with trash, especially inside the top 100. But I respect your opinion. But I still think you should tell Ren to tweet about XRP. Let's say this: we know they are trash. You know, I don't. Okay, I don't agree with that. But let's tweet that. Ren, I agree with you. XRP and H bar are not the best ones, but we need a super cycle. Please say something positive. That's how the spell is broken. Yeah, everything right now seems like a short, honestly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I should be doing since the first minute. Do not trade on weekends, do not do anything like that. I'm going to finish the stream here. Guys, remember, we lost David Sachs as a crypto czar. We need some guidance now. We need to be careful. If crypto will not lose the role that we should have with XR. Trump yesterday talked about crypto on the conference, but he talked a lot of things and some of them were not positive. And yeah, thank you for being here. I'll come back Next, I'll come back here next Saturday. And remember, I'm live every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday on Crypto Decoded by Pedro Silva. That's my English channel. And if you speak Portuguese, remember, Banter Portuguese live the other day that I'm not live on Crypto Decoded by Pedro Silva. I'm live in Portuguese, and we do live trading. Mostly every shows right now. I think all shows you are doing live trading. Yeah, I think it's some. I think yeah, all the shows they do some sort of live trading. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it goes not so well. Luckily, more well than not so well. So see you all next week. Have an awesome weekend and careful with the market.